hair frizz, a very common complaint amongst people, especially the ones that were born with naturally curly hair or naturally wavy hair. But you can also give yourself the frizzies just by doing things wrong in your daily routine. So in this video, I'm actually going to show you 3 DIY conditioners that you can actually make yourself to help reduce the frizz. And also I'm going to include some easy tips at the end of the video, just little things that you can maybe change in your daily routine to help reduce frizz as well, because you might actually be causing it and not even know it. So let's get started. Okay, the very first recipe is one of my favorites of all time. And here's all you need. You need limes, like 1, maybe 2, and 1 can of coconut milk. You can find coconut milk like in the grocery store. It's pretty much everywhere. It's not that hard to find. Also, empty containers. Save these because these can hold the excess, hair mask that's left over once you're done. So I'm going to use my empty Nutella container, and I washed it out and stuff like that and made it nice and pretty. And then with your coconut milk, you want to dump the entire can of coconut milk as gracefully as I did into the container. Then you need lime juice, and I recommend getting your lime juice from actual limes, but like if you can't, then I guess you can use the bottled lime juice as well. And if you can't get either, then you can use lemon juice, but it calls for 1 lime, and you need about 4 to 5 spoonfuls of the lime juice inside of this mixture. Okay, so now you're probably wondering why these two, why this relationship, and that's because coconut milk actually benefits the hair in so many different ways. It's really, really good for your hair and skin, and lime juice is really good for your hair as well, but when you mix the two together, it can tame the hair actually. But not only does it tame the hair, but it's also really good for hair loss. So if you're having trouble with, maybe too much shedding or, hair growth, try applying it to your scalp. So now you want to completely saturate your hair with this mask, and I just split my hair into sections and did it that way, and then just pin it up. And I put a plastic baggie over my head because if you notice, it's really, really runny, and you can thicken it up with some cornstarch if you want to, but I didn't really mind. I just decided to wrap it up instead. And then you want to let it sit. Now you can actually let it sit overnight depending on how frizzy your hair is, or you can just leave it in for like an hour, but at least an hour. Then you just want to go ahead and shampoo and condition like you normally would and style. And there's no chemicals or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about it like damaging your hair if your hair is already damaged, and then just store the rest away. Okay, so now for the second recipe, and this one is actually really easy. All that you need is plain yogurt, no sugar, no berries on the bottom, and honey, my favorite. I love honey so much, and these two are another perfect match for reducing frizz. Now the honey is for moisture, and the yogurt is actually for the smoothing. The lactic acid in the yogurt is what's going to smooth down your hair's cuticle. So if you want more moisture, then add more honey, and vice versa. So I did like half and half, but it's up to you how much you want to add. And then once you have completely saturated your hair with the mixture, you have to let it sit. But you don't want to let it sit for longer than 2 hours. But you also want to try to keep it in for like at least 15 minutes to 20 minutes. Then afterwards, you want to go ahead and shampoo and condition it out and style your hair like you normally would. Okay, now for the third one. This one is also really, really easy. All that you need is basically your daily conditioner and some extra virgin olive oil. And all that you want to do is just in a separate container, take and add some conditioner to like a jar, for instance, and then just add a little bit of olive oil. Not too much, or else your hair will come out really, really greasy looking and oily. I just added like half a capful to my little mixture. And then what you want to do is just shampoo your hair and then replace your everyday conditioner with this mixture instead. Maybe like once or twice a week, depending on how much your hair needs it. And then afterwards, just rinse. And the reason why you're adding olive oil to it is because olive oil is just a natural frizz reducer, and it removes static as well. Okay, so that's actually it for all of the DIY conditioners. And now for the easy tips. These are just things that you can do every single day, also on top of these masks to help reduce frizz. The first one, avoid damage like heat, anything that's going to break your hair, tugging at your hair with the wrong brush, etc. Because the more breakage you have, the frizzier that your hair looks. So even if you weren't born with frizzy hair, make sure that you still take care of it because you can end up turning it into frizzy looking hair. The next tip, if you have like a lot of frizz and you really want to reduce it, then try not using a towel to dry your hair. Try using like a t-shirt. This way it leaves some extra moisture and your hair won't look dry and frizzy. The next tip, re-wet your hair after you comb it out. When you get out of the shower, I literally swear by this rule because yes, we have to, detangle our hair when we get out of the shower, but after you detangle your hair, re-wet it in the sink or with whatever you want to, because what it's going to do is clump your hair all back together and then just like kind of, pat it dry. And then when it does fully dry, it's going to be like frizz free and everything you could ever dream of. The last tip is to always rinse with cold water, and it seems like a really repetitive tip, but it's actually really important, and this is why. Because when we're in the shower, the heat opens up our cuticles, and it's so happy because we're just putting lots of moisture into it and conditioner, and then we just get out of the shower and our cuticles are still open, and then we start drying it and we just kind of suck all the moisture back out of it, and then it gets cool and then the cuticles close without all that moisture in it that could have been in it if you would have rinsed your hair out with cold water before exiting the shower. So that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys like it. I hope that it helped. And if you guys try any of the masks, then comment down below and let me know how it works. Or if you have any tips of your own, you can share those as well in the comments. And I will see you guys soon. Also, click this link if you guys want to watch my new episode of Makeup to Breakups. Bye.